Welcome to the Budget Planning and Analysis System Report training. This training will focus specifically on where to find reports within BPAS and how to run reports that best suit your needs. For a broader look at the entire BPAS system, please refer to the new user training video. Let's start by navigating to BPAS. As a reminder, one can access BPAS through the administrative portal using their state user ID and password used for SWIFT or Semaphore. Reports can be accessed by navigating to the Explore button at the top left-hand corner on the BPAS homepage. Reports are organized by which publication document they create. As a reminder, users will not be able to see either the budget books or the capital budget folder when logging into BPAS. The Consolidated Fund Statement folder contains the reports utilized to produce the CFS. Agencies that are responsible for CFS fund statements utilize the expenditure and revenue reports to reconcile their funds. The Departmental Earnings folder will eventually contain reports with a new Departmental Earnings application that will be built. This application is on hold until 2016. The Detail Reports folder contains the majority of the reports used by agencies to reconcile and build their base budgets. We will skip this folder for now. The Fiscal Page reports are the fiscal pages included in the 2016-17 Governor's Biennial Budget. There are two fiscal pages for each level of the agency, program, and budget activity. When you run the program level report, you will select an agency program. When you run the budget activity report, run the report at a budget activity level. The change summary reports are also stored in this folder, however, they will not be included in the Governor's Budget Book. This fiscal page includes base adjustment information that may be useful to agencies and legislative staff. The General Fund Statement folder contains reports that help crosswalk data in BPAS to the data included in the General Fund Statement. Statewide level folders contain reports that M&B uses to reconcile statewide data. Some of the reports within this folder will be useful for agencies and legislative staff to see large amounts of data in one report. For example, the Available Resources by Fund or by Appropriation report will show all activity within selected agency by fund or all appropriations within a fund. This is an example of the Available Resources by Appropriation report. To close out of your report, select the X at the top of the screen. We will now go back into the Detail Reports folder. This folder contains the majority of reports that agencies will utilize for base budget development and Governor's change item reporting. Within this folder, there are subfolders meant to help identify what the report will look like before they are run. Reports in the Accounts folder will have the available resources in the rows and years in the column. For example, we are going to run an Available Resources report for G10, all funds in November base and working. This is an example of what your report will look like. To go back to the Detail Reports folder, close out of this report by selecting the X in the tab. The Ad Hoc folder has reports that require more point of view prompts to be answered. These are more complicated reports. Reports in the Appropriations folder will have the appropriation in the entity and years in the columns. For example, we are going to run this report for G10. Your Account Net folder may look something like this. To go back to your Detail report, select the X at the top of the tab. Reports in the Change Item folder are used for viewing change items that have been entered in the change application. Reports in the Dimension Hierarchy folder show the hierarchy or tree of each dimension. If a user wants to see where an account falls in the dimension hierarchy, They can run an account dimension report. If a user wishes to view the programmatic structure of their agency, they can run an entity dimension report. Finally, the SmartView Templates folder holds SmartView templates created for major agencies. An additional video on how to use SmartView and SmartView templates is under development. I would like to point out two more things that exist on the main report list. Both are PDFs listed at the very bottom of the folder structure. The first is a PDF of a 2016-2017 report inventory. This PDF outlines every report in the system. The second is a BPAS report crosswalk. This PDF is a crosswalk between reports from 2014-15 system to where the report is now. We will now walk through running a report in BPAS. Users need to set their user preferences. Users should navigate to File, Preferences, and select the financial reporting icon on the left-hand side of the screen. Users should ensure that the user point of view preview is on. If the user point of preview is turned off for any reason, the user will not be able to set their report parameters and will likely receive a blank screen upon running their reports. Once the user point of preview has been turned on and the display preferences set, the user can select OK. As an example, we will run the Available Resources report to demonstrate the user point of view preview and other report features. The majority of reports will ask users to select members from the scenario and version dimensions. These dimensions combined are used to track the point in time of data within the 2-year biennial budget. Scenario is used to track the point in time within the annual budget cycle. We utilize Scenario to track the points in time we publish data. The version allows the flexibility to have multiple iterations of each scenario. All entry is made at the working version. When all entries are done and the data has been published, we then move the data from the working version to the final version. The first year of the biennium, we copy our working data to biennial final. We then enter data in the working version once more. The second year of the biennium, we copy data to the supplemental final version. The what-if scenario has yet to be utilized. However, this tool has been developed for both agencies and MMB to enter data that the other cannot see. Knowing the scenario and version combination is essential to knowing at what point in time in the 2-year budget cycle the data was entered. Here we present a snapshot of where to find data once it has been entered. Keep in mind that your base budget development for the fall of 2014 is November base plus working. Use these scenario and version numbers through the publication of the governor's budget in January of 2015. For this example, we will run an Available Resources report. As previously mentioned, the user is prompted with the User Point of View Preview menu. There are a few different ways a user can set their report parameters from the User Point of View preview. For example, if the user knows their 3-digit state agency code, they can simply type it in directly to the entity field. Choosing the Select button will bring the user to a point of view preview in which they can search for their state entity. The user can enter their agency code into the search field and select the binoculars in order to find the correct code. Using this option, the user must select OK twice to verify that the appropriate entity code has been entered in the entity field. The final option to enter a search parameter is to click on the Select button and navigate through the menu using the plus and minus icons to the left of each folder. Once the user has found their desired search parameter, they may select the radio button and click OK. The user should click OK one more time to bring up the report. The title for the report will appear in the top left-hand corner of the report field. On many reports, the search parameters will be listed directly below the report title. Dimension members will either be listed in the subtitle or in the names across the rows. Users may toggle between HTML and PDF previews using the two icons located toward the top of the screen. PDF icon will open a PDF and allow users to print. The PDF icon will bring up a PDF version of the report that users can print from. The HTML icon will produce the report in HTML format. Users may also export their report to Excel by navigating to File, Export, and export to the desired document type. Users are also able to change the report parameters after running reports by selecting any of the options from the Report Point of View preview at the top of every report. For example, you can also change the search parameters on your report. In this report, scenario, version, and fund were not given search parameters and therefore have pulled back incorrect data. To change the scenario, select Scenario, and we're looking for November base. The report will slowly repopulate to the data we need. Next, we'll select Version and select Working. Click OK. And finally, we will enter all funds and click OK. Now, as you can see, the report has pulled back all of the information that we are looking for. In order to drill down, you may select Drill at the right-hand side of each report. This will allow you to explore your numbers further. Keep in mind that timing really is everything. When entering data in BPAS, data is entered at the lowest level of a dimension. Reports run at this level will have correct data immediately. If users run reports at a higher level, for example, budget activity, program, or agency, the data needs to be aggregated so that the totals are correct. Transfer data and aggregations occur at the top of every hour. During the first 10 minutes of the hour, the data is being updated. From 10 minutes after the hour through 59 minutes after the hour, the reports will reflect data that has been entered prior to the top of the hour.